Welcome to another edition of PowerCore Productions and Podcastings. And in today's video, we are going to be continuing Kill la Kill, The Web of Life. What if Spider-Gwen was in Kill la Kill, Part 2. As always, if you are new to the channel, or if you're a regular and you like what we have to offer, then please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and hit that bell for post notifications so you can stay up to date on everything that is PowerCore Productions and Podcastings that's to come out now and in the future. Also, if you haven't, make sure you check out yesterday's video as we continue the story of Kaguya-sama Love is War, What if Shirogane was Spider-Man, Season 1, Part 2. But anyway, as we dive into today's video, we continue on with our trio of misfits as they continue fighting through the various clubs of Hojin Academy as they attempt to make their way up to the top to get the answers that they seek from the head of the school, Satsuki Kirin. Of course, things will be easier said than done as many new foes will come out of the woodworks, one in particular that shares a past with our favorite guitar-rocking spider. But with all that out of the way, stay tuned as we now continue. Kill la Kill, The Web of Life. What if Spider-Gwen was in Kill la Kill, Part 2. As always, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. It was safe to say that ever since the group got their powers, life had taken a lot more stranger of a turn than any of them would have wanted to admit. For one, Hojin Academy was no ordinary academy at all. I mean, it was an academy in name only. If anything, it almost encouraged most of the lower ranked students not to even show up in the first place. But for our Spider Trio, I would be wary to say quartet because Mako, for some reason, didn't manifest powers like everyone else. Although for some strange reason, every night at midnight, the girl would mysteriously sleepwalk out of the house and disappear. No one knew where she went, and for the most part, she could take care of herself. But even still, whatever she was doing sleepwalking at midnight, well, they were going to have to address that at a later date and time. For the main focus, though, it was dealing with the higher-ups of the academy, the Elite Five, led by Satsuki, along with all of the other clubs that now were going after them with everything they had, seeing as how they had the biggest target in all of Japan planted squarely on their backs, to be captured at any and all costs. Although it wasn't really like they were putting their heart into it if they were going to send weaklings after them all the time. But they did have good news. That name that Satsuki gave them, it actually stuck. And now they had a pretty interesting band name. They were called The Transfers. Gwen on drums, Hobie on guitar, Ryuko on bass guitar. They would start by playing out in small venues, and eventually they started playing on school grounds. And slowly but surely, the student body was actually getting behind them. "Do you see this?" Hobie would say. "We're actually a hit with these guys." "Yeah, I'm kind of shocked they actually want to listen to us." "Oh, come on, Ryuku love. You already know that the power of music has the ability to change all." "Oh, yeah. So, in the meantime, how many more of these geeks do we have to get through before we get to Satsuki?" "Well, I think we've cleared out most of the 1 stars. I think we should start making our way to the 2 stars. "That's it! To get them!" "Who's that?" The trio turned down the hall as a group of students in 2-star Goku uniforms started chasing after them. "I think that's the gardening club," Gwen would say. "I got this." Gwen transformed into her ghost spider state, making short work of the gardening club and kicking them out almost instantly. Seriously, they make this too easy. Where's Hobie?" The 2 girls looked outside immediately. They saw that Lady Satsuki was walking out to the gardens to enjoy her lunch, and well, Hobie, just seeing an ever so glorious opportunity, figured that he had to shoot a shot. Hey, hold on now. Slow down now. There's no need to be in such a rush. A rose as beautiful as you stand out amongst all the flowers. My name's Hobie Brown. Nice to meet you. Ooh. He was immediately flipped over on his back and thrown to the ground. Ooh. You don't have to remind me of what I am. I am the rose that grows among the swine and the filth. You should be honored that you even get to lay your eyes on me. I should have them gouged out. If I could never see you again and only once in 1,000 days, it would be too long, my love. Ira, the head of the disciplinary committee, would then step on his gut. You got off easy, punk. In the name of true love, it will always prevail. Oh boy, what are we gonna do with him? I don't know. I mean, on one hand, I should compliment him. He gets closer to Satsuki than either of us. Yeah, Rukio would say. Except he's not actually looking for a fight. He's just looking to try to score. Damn pervert. Hey, he's not a pervert, Gwen would say. No, but still, come on. And that was the normal routine. Between fighting low-ranking student clubs, defeating them, taking the life fibers from their Goku uniforms, Hobie continuing to hit on Satsuki, even though that went just about nowhere, Mako and her, late-night sleepwalking side projects that somehow sounded like she was working on a car, almost waking up the whole damn neighborhood. What the hell was the girl doing? I mean, her father was a back alley doctor, and that was already shitty enough, but what was the girl doing? Was she an arms dealer or something like that? And whenever Mako woke up, she had no recollection as to what she was doing the night before. In either case, the group would continue to learn more about the life fibers from Sinkets, as they still had more to their powers that they didn't understand, but they were hoping to make sense of it all in due time. Of course, then came the infamous no-tardy's day, a day in which no student was allowed to be tardy, and if you were, you would get expelled from the school. And when you have to fight from the low-ranking districts to climb all the way up that hill just to get to the impenetrable school walls, safe to say it was easier said than done. In fact, there were a group of kids that just sat on the side who were already resigned to their fate of never being able to get to the academy. I mean, when you have to go through 1,000 obstacles in the ultimate obstacle course just to have a prayer's chance of getting to school on time, you kind of see the problem here. Although, when you have spider powers, you become pretty sufficient enough. For the most part, going through the obstacles was a little more than a cakewalk for our favorite foursome. And that proved to be ever true as they eventually made their way to the top with little over 30 seconds to spare. Granted, I'd like to tell you that they got there in a breeze, that they were able to get there with ample time, they were able to walk through the school doors, and that everything went rather peachy and keen. But instead, here's the truth. They ended up in a fight for their lives, and the results of them getting to school was them crashing a cable cart through the school window. Well, on time was on time, at least. That's what the homeroom teacher thought. Of course, though, their ever-watching moves were being monitored by the Elite Five along with Satsuki. Satsuki couldn't help but be impressed that they had managed to last this long. As for the others, they were analyzing them, studying their moves, preparing for when they'd eventually have to face them. Of course, Olivia Octavius, one of the third-year students, was in high regards as she was looking forward to the opportunity. Is she alright? She's been staring at that board for an awfully long time. She hasn't gotten any sleep, a boy tiredly said as he pushed up his glasses. Liv has been working at it non-stop. They're just so fascinating, these spiders. Seriously, Lady Satsuki, we have to get our hands on them. Do not worry, Liv. In due time, we will. Although I must ask, have you heard any news about that rogue? You're talking about the anti-uniform gorilla. My lady, catching his movements will be rather hard to find. Although we have been tracking his patterns, it looks like he'll be making his way to the academy. Keep monitoring him. I wish to see what he'll be after. Infinitely enough, the day finally came. A day where a young man, tall and muscular in size, wearing tactical military gear, approached the walls of Hojin Academy. The boy sported dark hair that spiked in the center with a red mohawk of sorts. He was a man of little words as he smoked his cigarette. The surviving members of the gardening club, not taking too kind to him trampling all over their flowers, looked to get revenge. Revenge that was short-lived as he made quick work of them all, using a gun that shot out needles as he shot through and ripped all of their Goku uniforms and captured the life fibers that were woven within. With that, he continued and made his way. The girls were in class. Hobie was skipping class since he was against all forms of establishment and was working on trying to get the Satsuki once again. Things took a turn for the worse when both Gwen and Ryuko found themselves under attack, being shot at from a guy all the way across the schoolyards. The shots came firing through the window as they made their way, fighting for their lives. They went to the outside where Mako was, and she was getting ready to enjoy her bento box, only to be pelted with a whole bunch of needles in the process. Although thankfully, the guy that shot her would explain that he didn't do any harm. In fact, in a form of acupuncture, he had actually done her a great service. When she finally recovered from the paralyzation, she would be renewed, revigored. She'd feel like she'd have the strength of over 100 men. Oh, well, that's good to know. But still, why'd you shoot her? Gwen would ask. Because I was aiming for you. You two specifically. You take off that uniform. And you turn around and reduce that uniform. What? You want us to strip? What are you, some type of pervert? Ryuko! Gwen would yell as Ryuko got punched in the gut, and then Gwen took a kick to the face. Well, one thing you can't say about this guy, he definitely believes in gender equality, that's for sure. There are two things you need to know. First, I'm not a pervert. And two, my gun won't miss at this range. It'll be fatal. Unless you do as you're told. However, before he had a chance to enact his plan fully, a single needle would be shot into the palm of his hand. He realized what that meant as he backed away. In doing so, he would warn them they had till tomorrow to give themselves up. Later on that night, the shooter in question made his way to a bar where there sat the teacher of Ryuko and Gwen and others, Ikuro, teacher of Class 2K. Also, secret member of the resistance movement known as Nudist Beach. So, Sumugu, you definitely had to go and pick a fight with my students, huh? I'm only doing what needs to be done, Sensei. You know, the higher-ups at Nudist Beach aren't going to be taking too kind to you going after them. We've already decided that those kids could be a valuable asset to our cause. If you continue on like this, they're going to strip everything away from you. You say that to a guy like me? I'll fight nude and proud if I have to. I'm sure you will, my friend. Master, I am grateful to you for everything you've done for me. And know that if you had ever asked anything of me, I'd gladly do it. But turning away at those three is something I simply can't abide by. You and I both know the truth about the life fibers, what they truly are. If you allow them to continue down this path, you're only dooming them to destruction. These spiders have roamed free long enough. I am their execution. I am their exterminator. I will rid the world of them all. They can either go willingly or by force. Sumugu would take one last puff of his cigarette before putting out the bud as he made his way. I'm going after them tomorrow. It doesn't matter if you stand in my way. You'll go down with them. The teacher simply looked back to his glass of alcohol as he finished it. He had no intentions on fighting him, but even still, he knew that things were not going to go so easily. In the meantime, Satsuki and the other members of the Elite Five, now being known of the whereabouts of the anti-uniform gorilla, Sumugu, they were going to be keeping their eyes closely fixed on him, to study his movements, to see how he fought, and to maybe see what they could learn more about the spiders. The next day would arrive, and well, it was the same old, same old. Hobie was once again looking for Lady Satsuki, as Gwen and Ryuko were waiting at the student gates, waiting for their challenger to arrive. And just where is that damn Hobie? Ryuko would ask. Do you really have to ask? Gwen would say. Oh yeah. Of all times, why now? You know him. Once his mind's set on something, it's never going to change. Yeah, but still, it'd be a lot easier if we had an extra set of hands. It doesn't matter. I think the two of us can handle him just fine. And almost as if on cue, the Mohawk gun needle wielding, anti-uniform loving shooter made his way. He gave them a final warning to take off those clothes and to surrender themselves, or to have them ripped from them. Well, the girls already knew what answer they were going to pick, so there was no point in wasting in pleasantries. The battle would begin all across the school courtyard. However, it wasn't just up to them alone, as they found themselves not only fighting each other, but also fighting against the likes of other clubs that were looking to make a name for themselves. The gardening club that showed up once again looking for retribution a third time. There was also the poems club as well as the farming club. What's with all these backwater clubs? Gwen would ask. It doesn't matter. We just have to get through them all. They were all upgraded to 2-star Goku uniforms, although they were quickly dispatched with ease. And safe to say, for Gwen and for Ryuko, things were not going their way at all. Even with the aid of the Spider Sense, with their enhanced reflexes and their power, it was almost as if the guy had booby-trapped the whole school for them. Bombs, landmines, missiles, RPGs, you name it, he had it in full, and he was not going easy on them at all. In the meantime, Hobie had finally caught up to Lady Satsuki again. She was enjoying a cup of tea when Hobie, after combing out his hair, would approach her. As he tried to once again, though, he quickly found himself flat on his back, looking up at the ceiling. Wow, you are some woman. So, you've let your friends be resigned to their fate? Their fate? What are you talking about? Oh, are you that dumb? Seriously, if you're going to be this dense, then what makes you think you'd ever have a prayer's chance of getting with me? My good looks, my swing personality, My never say die attitude, my ability to fight the system. I am the system, and a damn beautiful system at that. It makes no matter. Pretty soon you'll be the only spider here. Why? Your friends have been caught in the grips of the anti-uniform gorilla, the one known as Sumugu Kinasage. What? What was that name? Familiar. It should be. I think it's someone you know very well. Sumugu Kinasage. Oh no. I gotta find them. In the meantime, throughout the halls of Hojin Academy, both Gwen and Ryuko found themselves on the ground. Gwen's life fibers had all but been stripped from her, and she was running out of the stamina and energy needed to make more. As for Ryuko, Senketsu had transformed back into his uniform state and could no longer keep fighting. The two girls were cornered as Sumugu continued to beat down on the both of them, warning the two of them that they were at the end. There are two things you need to know. First, there was a woman who believed that humans and clothes could live in harmony with each other, and she paid the price for that foolish ideology with her life. And second, the road the two of you are walking down is the road that will share the same fate with that woman. In the end, you're looking for something that could never exist. The idea of humans and clothes is utterly preposterous. Now I'm done playing games. You hand over that uniform, and you turn around and you show me that node in the back of your neck. I'm gonna sever it. I'm gonna cut out that life fiber that's connected to you internally. Once I do so, you'll be free of that accursed power, the both of you. Sumugu would continue to move closer as the two girls fended for themselves. That was until he felt a hand on his shoulder. Took you long enough, little brother. Why don't you do me a favor and leave them alone, alright? You saved me the trouble of tracking you down. Same thing goes for you. You turn around, you get on your knees, you show me that node in the back of your... Before he had a chance to finish, he caught a right hook to the face as he went flying out the bathroom window, out down into the school courtyard below. You two stay here and don't get involved. Hobie? Hobie's voice was very serious, the two girls nodding as they stood away. I've never seen him like this before. That's not the usual Hobie. As Hobie and Sumugu landed on the ground, the two standing across from one another, the anti-uniform gorilla and the infamous Spider-Punk. You got a lot of nerve showing your face here in Japan. I thought you would have stayed back over with Dad. Dad's dead. So, what of it? And what the hell made you want to come here for? What business do you have here in Japan in the first place? As far as I'm concerned, you have no ties to this place at all. What? I can't come back to the home country of my mother. She ain't your mother anymore. As far as I'm concerned, she only had one son, and that was me. Oh, is that right? You still bitter about the fact that Dad sent you away? Please, like I ever cared about that old man. Not that I did either, but you're acting like it's my choice. It wasn't, but you had no reason to get involved. So why don't you do your big brother a favor? Surrender, get that damn node cut from the back of your neck, and then get lost. You're gonna get enough of telling me what to do. We ain't little kids anymore, Sumugu. As far as I'm concerned, them days is long behind us. Them girls back there, they're my family. And you tried to hurt my family. So now you gotta deal with the consequences, and those consequences are me. You talk to me like you actually stand a chance. You know very well who you're dealing with. I do. And do you know who you're dealing with? I'm only gonna say this once. This is the one thing you need to know. You come after my family again, I don't give a damn who you are. I'll beat you down until there ain't none left. Now, let's see what you got, brother. The two of them would start to trade blows in the center of the schoolyard. The two of them not backing down for even a moment. Despite not having the aid of life fibers coursing through his veins to enhance his strength, Sumugu was able to hold his own rather effectively. Hobie found himself on the defensive a few times. However, he found himself swinging back as he took his guitar and slammed it on the back of his head. However, Sumugu continued to stand, completely unfazed by the attack, as he grabbed his little brother and then slammed him onto the ground as well. You got a long way to go before you have a chance of beating me, little brother. Now, playtime's over. Be a good boy, and you just... Hobie would punch him in the gut, causing him to stagger down to his knees. However, Hobie wasn't done. As he grabbed his brother by both sides of his head, he would give him a repeated series of headbutts, using the spikes that aligned the top of his mask. Over and over and over again, until the two were both stumbling, both of them hardly having a way of standing up, both of them bleeding from the forehead. You son of a... Don't you finish that sentence, Sumugu would say. Show some damn respect for Mother. It wasn't my fault. I didn't ask. I know. I didn't want to be separated from you. But still, I was bitter when Dad left. When he left Mom and took you away. I watched her cry endlessly, and nothing I did could wipe away her tears. Was she? Hobie would ask. Was she in pain? No. She didn't go through with the chemo. When she died at peace. Her only regret is that she never got to see you again. The two brothers would collapse to the ground, both Gwen and Ryuko racing towards Hobie immediately as they rushed to his side. The two girls would hold Hobie up, trying best to tend to his wounds. Sumugu would make one step towards them. However, Sinkets would fly off of Ryuko as it got right into the face of the attacker. If you come near them again, you'll have me to deal with. Understand? Sumugu was left shook at the words of the talking pieces of cloth. For one, the idea that clothing could actually feel anything towards a human. It was a concept that was foreign to him, and even more so that it would come to the defense of his little brother. However, seeing the girls that had comforted him in that moment, to see how they viewed him, he simply turned and walked away without saying a word. You idiot! Why would you have to go and do something like that? Gwen would say. Yeah, Ryuko would chime in. You could have got yourself killed, or worse. You idiot! Don't do something like that again. We're supposed to be a team, remember? That doesn't mean leaving someone behind. Exactly. I'm sorry. I left you guys hanging like that. It wasn't cool of me at all. So, consider this my way of making amends. The three would help each other up as they went to go find a place to patch up their wounds after that day's trials. As for Samugu, he took some time to recover himself. Later on, a couple of days later, Hobie would be standing at the gravestone of his mother, along with both Gwen and Ryuko, who also came to pay their respects. "It's a shame you never got to see her more," Gwen would say. "Yeah, but still, my mom was really cool. You know, she actually brought me my first guitar when I was really, really little. A little toy thing. To be honest, it's what set me on the side of music in the first place. You mind giving me a minute?" "Sure." As the girls left, Hobie would sit in front of the gravestone as he pulled the guitar that he had strung on his back forward. "Hey, Mom. It's probably been a while since you actually got to see me. But, how you been? Hope you've been doing well. I wrote this song. There's so much I want to tell you, and I promise I will. But if you don't mind, I hope you like to hear it." And with that, Hobie sat in front of the tombstone of his mother. For how long he sat, he wasn't entirely sure. A song that played endlessly into the night itself. Of course, when you think that no one would be listening, there was one. "He's not bad, Mother. He's not bad at all." This concludes Kill la Kill, The Web of Life. What if Spider-Gwen was in Kill la Kill Part 2? As always, if you enjoyed today's video and everything else that we have to offer, then please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and hit that bell for post notifications so you can stay up to date on everything that is PowerCore Productions and Podcastings that has to come out now and in the future. Stay tuned for tomorrow's video as we continue Spy X Family Project Web. What if Lloyd Forger was Spider-Man Noir Season 1 Part 2? But anyway, that's going to do it for the end of today's video. I'm Javon Harrington with PowerCore Productions and Podcastings. Signing off, and I'll see you next time.